Welcome to Dark Carnival Solo, Map 1. This level is going to be a lot of bunny hopping. If it looks like there's cuts in the video, you saw nothing, and I got them all first try. I promise. They're just so easy. So, to start out, you'll be doing bunny hopping through here. I won't really show any general bunny hopping because pathing through this stuff is really subjective. So you can pretty much figure out your own pathing that you're comfortable with. First thing is this van here. You can check items there. Bile and adrenaline are both useful. Bile for level 4, adrenaline just in general. If there's nothing useful to get there, you can jump over this van. Really easy. Barely even need to try. And you don't even need to be at the edge of the guardrail, really. Just straight jump, no problem. You can carry hops over this van too. That's pretty difficult. It's going to take you a lot of practice. So once you're past this van, there's going to be tons of zombies in the area. Be careful, they'll get in your way. And you have two options here. Pretty much for solo, you'll be going to the right. If you do get items in the van back there, I prefer to stay along the left instead of cutting across, because that wastes movement. So you'll probably want to go to the left from the, or truck I should call it, if you pick up items in the truck. Otherwise, if you went over the van, you can go to the right. Do bunny hops here, blah blah blah. Then we got the camp here. Can have some items, adrenaline, bile, etc. I'll rewind back to the left path soon. Now, what you want to do here is get on the back bumper of the bus and then jump over the truck there. Now be careful you don't jump too late to the bumper of the bus, or it will force you to crouch, and there's some sort of part of the bus that sticks out slightly and you'll get stuck under it. So if you jump late, you can see I'm crouched right now. And to uncrouch, I would have to stick out a bit. I don't know what you get caught under, but you know, valve clipping and stuff, who knows. So you want to make sure that you jump early enough, fairly early, and then just hold right strafe to make it to the bumper. This way you won't crouch. Then you can do another immediate jump onto the truck. So that covers that right path. Now rewinding back to the left path. We're coming from the truck here, picking up items, going this way. So you can just path along the left. Bunny hops are pretty hard here because it's really hilly. So good luck getting any there. And you can go on this bush. Yep, makes sense. I know. And then right to the truck. It's not really any slower than the right side. It's very slightly. But the camp's pretty worth checking on the right side anyway, if you don't have anything in the truck. So now we're over here. You'll be starting a bunny hop chain here. You can see there can be an adrenaline there. Got pretty lucky. So usually after I get over the truck and I go up here, I'm not going to explain this bunny hop line exactly, but I am going to try to get it. If you do this really well, you'll carry hops through the billboard, onto the hotel area, and just, it's insane. It's really hard though, but I'm just going to do this briefly. I already dropped a hop there. It's good stuff. So you can jump on that car and then to the billboard, or jump over the car with a crouch and get onto the billboard. It's got some options. You keep going. Come on. Go, 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 go. And then round this corner. Ah, I rounded it too soon. Alright. So what you can do is carry hops like that, trying to carefully go around this corner. Usually try to clear it and then do a harder strafe to the left. Another option is you could jump over with the hops over that banister and cut the corner.
Anybody hear me?
I feel that's kind of difficult and uncomfortable for me, so I usually don't go for that, but you could. And then hopefully if you have a good line, you'll land somewhere near the edge here with a lot of speed and get right over that fence. And that saves having to go through this little bit of hotel room here. Now there is, really briefly, there's kind of a backup here. This is really precise and very difficult, so I don't know if you want to bother doing this at all, because really it only saves a few seconds from going through here. But you could do a setup where you land on the corner, where it's a little tilty there. You want to land where it's tiltiest so that you get more speeds, like right around there. And that'll give you enough push in one crouch hop to make it over the fence. But I'm not going to try to actually do it, because this is too frustratingly difficult. You see, I went like right over it. It's very easy to jump straight over it, or slide at the edge, or not go far enough, because it's kind of precise where you have to land. So yeah, I don't know if I'd recommend this, but if you want to try it, the options there. Otherwise, if you couldn't carry hops from back there to get over the fence, just open the door and go right through. You can jump through this window. Thanks for the help, Nick. I usually tap crouch. Right when I jump, I tap crouch here to clear it completely. If you don't, you could get kind of caught on it. It's just tapping crouch just seems a little bit cleaner, usually. And we're going this way. You could do a few hops up here, potentially. You can slightly optimize this by just going up the railing a bit and then jumping to get on this ledge or clear it completely. Sometimes I carry hops to the top of the staircase and can't do that, but if you aren't carrying hops at that point, then you could you can clear it more efficiently like that. Alright, so now we get to the fun part, hopping at this hill. So the speed that you have as you're sliding down this hill can be carried into a hop. As you can tell, that speed gets pretty intense, and Nick's going to be cursing a lot at you. So get used to that. So what you want to do, generally, I am going to show lines for this because it's pretty precise. You can see there's a big hill right here. I always aim to get a speed boost on that hill. And now at that point, so I'm holding right strafe against the hill to kind of slide along it. Now usually the hop I go for is when I land on this ledge. There is a cushion trigger all around here. You can't take any damage, so if you fly off this hill and land down there, you won't die. Don't worry. I'll be showing that off. Hello? It looks really scary, but it's not scary. You'll be fine. So you can do that, and if you miss it, or if for some reason you don't want to do it here, I would recommend trying it, because you kind of get 2 shots if you try it here. Because the one shot is trying this. If you miss it, then you can keep going and slide down here. Try again at the bottom of this hill. So now we're going to show off some hops off of that first little hill. No cut here. Nothing to see. You get to that uphill portion. I keep hitting too late. Got no boost. Bam! Alright. So, there you go. I got right to the hill. If you land somewhere around here, you can hop again and go straight up this hill as well, which is nice. But yeah, that's pretty much what you're looking for in that spot. So now the second spot I'll show off. The only thing I could have gone better there is I actually would have successfully gotten this hop right here for a little extra speed, but it's okay. The second one's the important one. So I'll show off the very bottom of the hill this time. Definitely not a cut here. Nothing to see. Wow. Okay, so that's, we're going to call that close enough. I could have gotten one more hop to get across the water, but I'm happy enough doing 3 hops there, because I'm kind of under practice for that one. But, yeah, there you go. You can just keep that line going. And if you don't get any hops, so you're just kind of walking through this area, one last thing that I like to do is there's another downhill here. So I like to just get a nice little speed boost right there, keep it going across the water. There's another downhill pretty much at the beginning of the water as well. You can usually hit both of those. Yeah, you know, close enough. You get the idea. And then this hill is pretty easy. Just jump when you're almost to it and tap crouch. That's all you gotta do. You don't even really need to be that close to it. It's extremely forgiving. So like you don't need to walk forward too far and then hit it and jump and not have any speed. You do not need to be that close to the hill. You can do it perfectly safely. And forget about going around. It's never worth it. Ever. Always just do that. It's so easy. Hey, buddy. And that's basically it. There's one other, I guess I can mention there's another tiny hill in the ground here. I always use that to get a little speed boost to the start of my hop chain here towards the end. It's like, I think it's right in the center of the road there. Yeah, you can kind of see it from an angle. You can see it sloping down a little bit. You can get a bit of extra speed off of that. And that'll do it for level 1. On to level 2. And level 2. So, if there's cuts in this video again, I also got these common jumps first try, because they're so easy. And, it wasn't actually a cut. Yeah, I'm just that good. So, starting off, it's just a bunch of bunny hopping, basically. Again, I won't completely show this line, because it's subjective, but I'll hit a couple of points. Usually I go through here. There's going to be tons of zombies in the way, and a lot of times you are not going to be able to bunny hop cleanly through them. So, good luck. If you're lucky, you can find a line through them, or even shoot them out of your way as you're carrying hops, but you're probably not going to find a line. Do your best, though. If there's a ton here, you could consider hopping to the side this way, but it's not very clean, and usually something easily gets in your way, so usually I end up just going through here. And I'll go around the right post, because a lot of them tend to spawn to the left of the post. And you can just continue this way. Just kind of shove yourself through here. Turn the corner. You can also hop underneath this door. You can do a standing hop if you have a line that pretty much lands you perfectly underneath the door. You can see there's not a whole lot of head clearance. Or you can try to do a crouch hop underneath the door. Just a brief crouch hop. Then return to standing if you'd like. Now, along the way in here, you can check some spawns for throwables. You'll want a Molotov or pipe for level 4 if you don't already have a bile for that, and you don't have anything else yet. Try to get a throwable somewhere here, because next level you're very likely not going to get one. This is the level for throwables if you don't have one yet. And, you know, of course, check spots for adrenaline too. Check here, check the shelf. You can check right here on that shelf. See there's a pill over there. Check that, check that. Right here, this is a guaranteed tier 2 shotgun. This is going to be here on the right side every time. So if you want that, go ahead, grab it. You can get some spawns there, around the shelf and on the floor. Now we're outside. So if you don't do the common jump, you can just kind of keep going, trying to get hops on this hill. Trying to build up speed, which I just failed miserably at, and keep going. I'll cover that soon. Oh god. Or you can do this common jump. That is just so much fun. There's a bunch of ways to set this up. You could use a bile on the tent. Really, I wouldn't recommend it. The bile's very useful in level 4. You can set it up without a bile. And there's kind of different ways to set this up. You can experiment with stuff, feel it out. I'll show you at least what I do. So the zombies are going to be behind you. They have to be on this, wherever this bush is, whatever you want to call this area. They have to be up on this ledge following you by the time you get into position here. Now usually you can kind of see in the bottom right of my screen, you can see the ledge right there. So usually what they'll do when you're sitting here is they'll kind of run off the ledge, go forward slightly, maybe up to this far, then they'll turn around, run up the ledge again, a tiny bit, and then run back off the ledge, and that time go straight for you. They don't do this every time, but they do that most of the time, so that's what I usually aim to time for, because the AI in this game is ridiculous, and who knows how they think. So that's what I'm going to be looking for. Usually I'll go at a left angle, maybe like 45 degrees, so I can just hold back pedal as I jump to slide along the wall over them. And I kind of line up with the edge of the tent. If you look at that zombie body down there, she is wiggling her thumb when I go back and forth. I just noticed that. Okay. That's kind of creepy. Anyway, so I'm going to try to show that off now. Totally won't be a cut here. So yeah, I'm going to be backpedaling, jumping as they're approaching, jumping off of them as they're climbing to get the boost, and I'll end up there. And you do want to make sure that you go out from the tent a bit, otherwise you're going to hit your head on this bridge. Alright. Here we go. Wow, I actually almost got that, even though he's climbing the cooler. Hey, there we go. Alright, so you can see he approached me. You can see him out of the bottom right corner of the screen that he had approached, kind of went halfway on the cooler or so, backed up, then he came back into view, and that's when I reacted to him. So, yeah, good luck getting that jump. Saves a lot of time, though. First try every time, haha! So once you're up here, just do some hops. I mean, this is pretty straight, so probably don't need to explain that. Do hops all the way to the last window. You can jump straight down out of here if you want. I think it's like 17 damage or something. If you need to preserve health, you could just drop on this white ledge and keep hops going. You only take like 1 damage. You'll probably do that most of the time because it doesn't really matter to drop onto the ledge. And now we're meeting up with the slide. So if you don't do that common jump, you will be bunny hopping through this whole area, all the way down the alley and around here. This is all normal stuff. Fast climb the ladder, going up this way. You could maybe go on the railing here. I started doing this recently. I honestly don't know if it's faster. It feels like it might be very, very, very slightly faster. So, I don't know. Think about it if you want. And here, I drop onto the railing. And then the point I drop at, usually if you want to take no damage, you can drop right when the railing is going to flatten out for the last time. So I'd be going down and then pretty much just strafe off like that, get a couple of hops. If you have health to spare, you could drop a little earlier. You don't have much leeway though, so probably just wait for it to almost flatten out. And then we're over here. So now the fun part again. Totally no cuts happening here. We are going to do a tank boost. So what you want to do is you want to kite the tank into this area. And this is my setup. There are some potentially different setups, but this is what I do. Assuming that the tank comes from this direction, maybe if he climbs up from down there, right along this wall, or he's coming from back here, that's ideal. I'll show if he comes from another direction what you can do. But for the ideal direction, you'll be kiting him this way. You want to make him climb this fence to set him up properly. Then you can get on this fence. Now, this might be kind of hard to see, but there's a red dot in the texture below me. I'm pretty much just centering myself, my crosshair, on that. And then looking at the edge of that railing that touches the wall. So you can see there's a red dot. See right there? That red dot. Just in case, I don't know if it's going to be hard to see on video, so I'm just going to zoom in on it. You can see that there's that tiny red dot right there. That's what I'm going for. I want that shotgun back. So, now that you know where it is, yeah, just line up right over that. Now, when the tank is pretty close, like probably somewhere around there, he's about to get to you. What I usually do is I will hold my walk key, start backpedaling right before he's hitting me, and then jump to do the tank boost, and you'll fly to land on the clip above this hedge, which apparently I got rid of because I accidentally went into the trigger that gets rid of this clip, so there's going to be a cut here when I restart the map. Hold on. As I was saying. So there's a clip here. Yep. There it is. Now I'm actually standing on it. That goes away when you're going past the carousel, so don't worry about it. Or the clip goes away when you go through a trigger past the carousel. So you'll be landing with the tank punch up here. So, okay, I'll see if I can show that off now. So we're just going to spawn him right there, pretending like he came from that direction. Get him over this railing. Set up very quickly. He's going to be on top of you pretty fast. And there we go. So you can see he was pretty close to me when I started backing up and walking. And then jump right before he hits you, so you have some upwards momentum when he's hitting you. And I promise, with a lot of practice, honestly, this tank boost is easier than it looks. You will get used to it. Nowhere near the difficulty of the common jump back there. The hard part is getting him to actually spawn properly. And then the other spawn that he could do, he can climb right there, just so you know where the climb spot is. And then the rest is going to be the same. Now, great rocks. Yeah, that might happen sometimes. If you stay really close to him, he won't throw a rock. Just note. Oof. I almost missed that. I'm at the edge, pretty much. Get out of here, tank. So now if he spawns badly, which is if he spawns more in the front here, he's going to climb right here. So you're going to have to do a little extra kiting. That wastes time, but I'll cover it. So, also by the way, when the tank is pathing into this area, kill any zombies that are anywhere remotely close to him. Let me finish explaining. Kill any zombies that are remotely close to the tank, because they throw off his pathing, I noticed, pretty badly. If there's ever any zombies in the way, he'll just go completely to the side, avoiding them. And it'll throw off the entire setup. So be very careful.
Get ready.
Okay. So, the tank spawns out there, he's gonna climb here. And you pretty much can't do anything about that. Now, what I like to do is I like to stand on the right edge of this railing so that he walks towards me along the edge of the railing. And when he gets close, I will... Oh god, that didn't go as planned. Okay, this is fine. This is fine, don't worry about it. I didn't mean for him to... I made it. I didn't mean for him to get on the railing. I think I screwed up a bit. Alright, let me do that one more time. I mean, that's kind of the idea, though. So basically, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to be right on the railing as far as I can be, so that he doesn't climb on it yet. He'll walk along it, hopefully.
You guys hear me?
Try to shoot the rock. Alright, tank. Can you behave? This usually works. There might be a cut in this video until I get this to work. Why does he keep throwing a rock when he gets up there? He never did that in runs. Alright, well, I mean, I forced him to climb. That's the idea. Don't get hit there, though. That's not the idea. We'll just go with that. Just force him to climb the railing, basically, so that you have some time to get around him, and can kite him to this railing to get him to climb this one. Okay. So, after that tank boost happens, and you're up here, you can go along this clip here. Careful the tree. You can clip the branch of this tree like that. So kind of stay more towards the left to avoid that. Go along this way. And then you can drop from here to the railing to not take much damage. And then you're good to go. Just jump over here and you're in the safe room. Alright. And that's it. On to level 3. And level 3. So... starting is pretty much just a bunch of bunny hopping. You can get some bunny hops on this down slope there. You can get a couple. It's kind of hard to keep them going because there's going to be tons of commons in this area. Definitely jump over this railing. Then there's going to be lots of commons around here. Kill what you need to. Try to spare the rest so that you don't force more to spawn in front by killing too many. And just doing a bunch of bunny hops here. One little note, if you're very confident in bunny hopping, you could try to land on the raised edges and go along with it to get a little extra boost. It's pretty hard. I don't really try that much myself, but you can get another boost if you land just right. I'm not even getting it right now, but... I kind of want to get a boost once, but you get the idea. So, continue along here. More bunny hopping. I like to go jump on the swan, just stay along the left here. We're in this room. So there's an optimization here. You go straight from this room, past the staircase, kind of go in here, jump once, twice, 3 times, and now you're up here. So by far the quickest way to do that, as you're jumping, try to be more towards the left here. I'm going to hold right strafe, and then quickly swing my mouse to the right in a 180 as I jump. And it'll land me in that gap right there. Haha, of course, first try. It's hard when you try to slow it down. So you jump, 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 right strafe, there. Curl your mouse quickly, very, very quickly. Do not do this mouse movement slowly. And make sure you jump pretty much right away before you slip off of the thing. Because if you try to jump too late, you're just going to end up falling like that. So that's the quick way to do it. If you're not confident in your strafing abilities, you can jump again to get on top of the thing, go towards the back, and then you just have a straight lead up now. You can't go forward for too long until you slip off, so just kind of jump pretty early after going forwards. So now we are up here. We've got the hole here. I like to jump into the hole. You can kind of overshoot it easily, so be careful. I like to jump into it because you're falling with a higher velocity, so it's slightly faster than just simply dropping through it. Once you get down here, of course, there's 100,000 specials all the time. Could have a jockey, could have a hunter, there could be a charger in front of you. Be really careful. You might need to melee stuff. More bunny hopping along the way. You could potentially bunny hop through this hole. Honestly, I don't even know if I've gotten that successfully once, because there's a lot of different heights here that you can get stuck on. I know there's a line where it'll work, but it's going to be very hard. Then, oh, you can refresh your weapon here on the table if you need shotgun ammo or something. It's not guaranteed, but you can take a look, because you are not going to get ammo at the start of the next level. It's too far off to the side. So make sure you have enough, at least like, I don't know, 20 shots. You want to be able to handle downing the bots, and also have enough for some commons if you need it. So you could also get potentially adrenaline here. It's kind of hard while you're bunny hopping to check, but you can kind of take a quick glance to the right, see if you spot anything, and then keep going. Now the big one, coaster skip. So the quickest way to start it is to jump onto this diagonal beam from this side. So you want to get kind of up against it. Face to the left more. If you face into the corner, it tends to miss a lot. You want to be facing more to the left. And then jump and crouch. Holding crouch. Sometimes it still misses. It's kind of... It's a little bit more precise than it looks. But you can get through there to optimize. If you don't want to do that, just come out here, go around, and then you can enter it from here instead. So go up the diagonal thing, then onto this one. Now we're going to jump this corner, land on this diagonal piece, and we are going to be holding crouch so that you stick to it. If you don't hold crouch, it's very easy to overshoot it and fall off. Let's see if I can demonstrate that. See, like, it's very easy to go too far. I'd highly recommend holding crouch to be a little more sticky. And you definitely want to jump the corner. So if you hold crouch, there you go. Now you want to make sure you strafe more towards the outside so you don't hit your head here. Go up. By this point, you can jump onto the next tier. So from here, you could go along to get up to the next tier, or you can just keep climbing straight up from this point, which is what I prefer to do. Let's get on this one, stay wide, jump to the next one. Now we're on the highest tier. There's a bit of stuff sticking out here that blocks you. Quickest way to get past that is just jump a little bit out to the right and strafe back in. It's pretty easy. You don't need to jump at much of an angle at all. Oops, if you want to be safe, you can just kind of shimmy it. Sort of dangerous though. Now we're over here, so we're going to do 2 jumps onto a diagonal thing, onto this thing, and then you can just walk straight to the track now. You don't need to do another jump onto the track. I noticed a lot of people do a 3rd jump here. I even used to do it at the beginning, and then I realized, why am I doing that? Just 1, 2, and walk straight. You're good to go. So now we're going to get on this railing. The setup by far that I like the most, that I use every time, is kind of walking along this railing, holding forward at a slight leftwards angle, so you stay up against it. And pretty much right when I'm getting to the threshold of this post here, at it or slightly before it, I'll jump and switch to left strafe. And there you go. You don't have to tap crouch or anything. I wouldn't recommend that. Just do it like that. If you jump too late, you're going to miss it. If you jump too early, you can also get kind of caught on stuff. Oh wow, that early jump actually worked. I'm surprised. Yeah, that one didn't work. So yeah, threshold is about when you reach the post. Or I'll just miss. Okay. What? Alright. I have to admit, I'm not sure why this is missing right now. That should be working. Worked a second ago. There we go. I might have been jumping a little early. Alright, there's another clip here. It extends up from the fence down below. It will block you. I'm running into it right now. So you just have to go to the right, shimmy it a bit. Basically, it's got a lot of room. Just stay right to get around it. Now from this point, if you're playing co-op and you haven't done the grenade launcher boost, which skips all this stuff, you'll want to hold space if your teammates are alive, or whatever your jump key is, or you will hang when you try to fall off here. So you want to be dropping straight down onto here, and then jumping across this gap. Careful you don't fall, or you are screwed. Straight jump across the gap. Now, two ways you can do this. The fastest way is jumping straight down to the bushes there. You'll take like 17-ish damage. So if you can spare that, definitely do that. Just, you know, jump. Again, in co-op, hold space here, or you'll hang on that railing. If you don't have the health to spare, you could also do a right strafe like this, and just catch on anywhere along the side of this coaster. There's nowhere specific. Just basically try to hug the side, and you'll catch something and take no damage if you really need to. And then you can drop to the bushes. Now here, there's a nice optimization on this board. You want to jump before you reach the top of this board. You'll get clipped on stuff if you reach the top. So I'm going to do a jump before I reach the top. Kinda right strafe a bit around this thing while I'm holding crouch just to stick to it. Or I guess sort of a tap crouch. Don't really need to hold it. So if you don't jump earlier here,
Anybody hear me?
you'll get kind of caught. So let's say you jumped late, right? And you sort of missed. If you fall down here, it's fine. Don't panic. You can keep going along the side. Just be careful and keep going. You'll get here eventually, and you can get on the track. So if you do it right, you can do an optimization there, and then just one more jump onto the track. Otherwise, keep going along it. So now the last thing, there's two ways to skip to the safe room from here. You have this way. You can just go straight from that point, drop here, run along, and you're good to go. Very easy. Or you can go down the track. This way is about a second faster, so you should do this. And I like to jump from about that part that's sticking out a little diagonally, straight to the bush here. Jump a little more towards the edge. It's pretty forgiving, but if you jump too early, you could miss it. I was actually close to missing that one. So, you know, it's pretty forgiving. You'll be fine. Just one thing to watch out for are commons. There can be commons spawned on the bush, and they could come towards you. If you chest bump them in midair, you're gonna like stop here and fall down. That's very bad. Don't do that. So if you see commons, shoot them as you're approaching to do this jump. And then we are just jumping over the wall, and there's the safe room. Now, if you do end up falling all the way down here, there's one last thing that you can do. So here's where the bush is, right? So we drop from there. Here's the bush and the side of that coaster track. If you're down here, you can go along to this spot. This is a backup. This is a tough jump because you have barely any lead up. But basically, you want to get on the base of this pillar, the concrete here. And you want to go forward a tiny bit, jump, and land on the part of the boards here that are sticking out. So as you can see, it's kind of hard. You'll either, there we go. You're either gonna, you could easily not get enough lead up and miss it, or try to get too much lead up and just fall right off of this concrete thing and not make it anyway. It's a kind of a specific amount of time you have to run forward for. It takes a lot of practice. And then you're right back here. Alright. That's level 3. On to level 4. Level 4. So, beginning is kind of fun. As you might know, there is complete RNG. You could not manipulate it here. There is a gate that can be in your way between this tent and RV. And it's either there or it's not. Period. If it's there, you could go around to the left, which takes a while, or there's some backups. This one we'll call the Bill backup. If there is a cut here, don't worry about it. This is easy for Bill only, not me. Yeah, so basically you want to go straight from the safe room to here, get on this ledge.
You guys hear me?
And then you want to go along the ledge for a while, kind of face in towards the wall. Once you get somewhere around this point, you're going to start holding left strafe, jump pretty much immediately, and hold crouch, and land on the corner of the hedge there. Here we go, first try. Oh my god! That was actually first try. Okay, so you get on the hedge, And you jump to the fence. If you just walk forward, you'll slip between the fence and the hedge. So you got to do a jump here. And then here you are at the bumper car area. So back here, if you fail it and there's commons pretty close to you, if you can melee them and sort of get them around here, alternatively you could jump on them and get on the hedge from there as well. So if there's some commons, that's an option. Now, there is a far easier backup than doing that. It's, I think, like a couple of seconds slower, and it could be slower still depending on where the commons are and how long they take to path to you, especially if there's a clown distracting them. That's bad. Otherwise, if they're pathing right to you, you can go into the corner here. You can see I'm going kind of up on the tree, so I have some height advantage. They'll be pathing in here. Once they get to about this point, just jump, spam jump on their heads, and you'll get on the tent. This one's actually pretty easy. And it's very resettable as well. You don't even need to hold crouch or anything. It's just a little bit slower than the build backup. So, from here, you can get on this railing, and then jump to the second railing. I like to do hops around here this way. And you can also check for a spawn that's right here. If you are approaching from the left, and you didn't do any backups, which you should at least do that common backup, it's really not hard. But if you really need to go around the left, you can take a quick glance at the left table. There could be stuff there. Kind of across the way, but that's far. And you can go right over these tables, look at those too. And then just do some bunny hopping. Straight shot here, couple jumps. There can also be, if you're near here, apparently there's a spawn around this corner. That can be a throwable or an adrenaline or something, if Rick Toy isn't lying to me. Dirty, dirty liar. And then we keep going here. Now this is just a bunch of bunny hopping. Try to bunny hop around this corner. You'll build up some nice speed doing a 180 basically. And we're continuing along here. So, generator. There's a couple of ways you can do this. I'll show you my method, which I'm kind of rusty on, but I'll show you my method, and then there's a straight jump method some people use. I find that harder. And then there's a common jump method where it's pretty good if the common is right here, right nearby by the time you get up here. So you just jump on the generator. You want to jump this kind of close to the generator to get up on it. If you jump early, you might miss it. It's forgiving enough. So first, my setup here, I kind of look in this direction. You're aiming to land on that lip right there of the light. Kind of look in this direction. I hold forward a little bit to start gaining speed. Then I hold right strafe, jump, and curl hard towards the light. There you go. So I'm on the lip now. You do one more jump to get up top. You do not need to do another jump. A lot of people do another jump here too. But you can just get right up on the light, no problem, and then jump across. Some people also like to do a straight jump from the left edge here, straight towards that lip. I find this really easy to run for too long and fall off of the phone booth. So I kind of, like, it's, I don't know, I don't like the angle and stuff that much. You have to aim between the lights, by the way, or you'll miss it. It's kind of a slot that you have to fit yourself into a little bit. You can see I'm missing this. I never liked this, but I mean, you can try it if you're not comfortable with strafing that much. There we go. And then the final method is the common jump. So if they're following you and they're close enough, and you get up here, you can get onto the second phone booth here. I'm up against the pipe, so you pretty much want to be as far as possible. Strafe out to the left a bit, just to clear your head from the bit of the roof that's sticking out. They'll climb up on the phone booth, and then you can just spam jump. It's a really easy jump. You should pretty much never miss it. Alright, there we go. I mean, you might need a couple of zombies, it's possible. And then just hold right strafe after you get the jump to get up here. Alright, and once you're here, you can kind of just jump around the halfway point of the ladder. And you can do some hops on this roof. You can do a couple of hops, ideally. One up here, and then another one at the next curvy bit there. Kind of hard to get it right. I got the first one, not the second one. And then you can just keep hops going. Also, you can observe next to the ice machine here, there can be adrenaline and
Hello?
stuff. If you see it after you hit the panel, you can go back for it. Careful, the director might replace it with a pill or med kit, because it's done that to me a bunch of times. Did that just go from a med kit to a gas can, or am I misremembering what was there? I don't know. I guess you know, because you're watching the video. Anyway, so go over here, activate the thing. I'm not going to activate it quite yet. And then, to be safe here, you can do a common jump into a Jesus spot, which is just right up here, on top of here. So you're going to have a lot of commons following you. I also try to keep them alive so that I can get the common jump more quickly. I try not to kill what's in this area since they're the ones near me. So, say they're around there. They're going to be climbing. Okay, he's not climbing where I expect him to. I like how they're fighting each other. Get over here. So when they're approaching, usually I will, while I'm crouched, there, that one's better. They might try to climb up where you are, too. You can see they don't actually need to climb. All you need to do is jump off of their head to make it. So basically, I just walk forward, holding crouch, spam jump, and hope to get on their head, pretty much. And once you're up there, you're good to go. Careful of a smoker. He likes to be back there sometimes. Also, if a spitter spits up here, jump up onto this pole, and it will not be able to reach you. Also, if there's a tank following you along the way from earlier in the level, or somewhere, there's tanks here pretty often, he will come into this area eventually, and then he'll kind of get stuck running up against the scaffolding right below you here, so you can just shoot straight down at him and kill him. He won't be able to climb up or anything, so don't worry about that. And you're safe up here. So, here's where the throwable comes in that we got in level 1 or level 2. Bile is ideal. Before the gate opens, which I'll explain what to look out for in a second to judge when it's going to open. Before the gate opens, pull out your bile, throw it at a pretty high angle, straight in that direction. I usually try to land it deep in this area around here. It doesn't matter too much. Basically, I want them to be next to this gauntlet area so that they don't disappear. If you throw the bile in this area, but when you leave the area, they're going to start disappearing and respawn in front of you. So you kind of want to keep them around you so that they don't despawn and respawn in the front, which is why I throw it this deep. So that's ideal. That gets them all out of your way. Then you can, in here, you can do bunny hops, nice and free. Go over here, then you're to the safe room. If you didn't get a bile,
Anybody hear me?
let's say you got a Molotov, you can kind of look up somewhere around here, I believe is the angle. And when you're ready to drop down there, just prime the Molotov.
Pipe bomb out.
Start running forward and throw it. It'll get more distance if you're running forward as you throw it. And you can usually land it around here, so that when they respawn in the front, they'll run through the fire and burn instead of getting in your way. And then the last thing is the pipe bomb. You want to wait. I usually, somewhere around here, I'll usually throw it far ahead into this corner just to get stuff coming from this area to go into the corner out of my way. Pipe bomb is probably the worst of the three. Bile by far the best, so try to have a bile, but that's what you want to do with each of them generally. So as for the gate,
Anybody hear me? I hear
so we'll activate it. Now, you can see the wall here that the gate is retracting behind. After the gate disappears behind that wall entirely, you have a little bit more time. 5 seconds maybe, a little bit more. So I usually use that as a gauge to tell when I'm ready to do stuff. So, say, give vomit jar.
Grabbing a bile
So say I
jar.
had a bile. I'm watching the
Fire
gate.
monster
Nothing else
sound.
is trying to kill me. You see the gate is getting kind of close. I'll wait to see it disappear behind the wall. I'll wait a little bit extra time, usually. So it's disappeared. Get the bile out there. Come down. Could have waited a little bit longer. And there you go. So yeah, it takes a bit of extra time after it disappears behind the wall. But you do want to get the bile out a bit earlier too, so that they collect there ahead of time and stay out of your way. Also, if you need ammo, now's a good time to get it. You can drop straight down and grab the ammo pile on your way out. keep that in mind so that you don't have to worry about anything in the safe room going to next level, having to get ammo. Okay. I think I covered everything. Yeah, I mentioned jumping over
There's a
that.
safe room up
Yeah,
ahead.
and just be careful when you look into the safe room that there aren't two specials staring back at you or a tank, because that's very possible. They love spawning in the safe room. Pay close attention. Very, very close attention. Okay. That'll do. On to the finale, map 5. And we are on the finale. So Dark Carnival has a very special thing in the finale with the bots. This is the reason, well, I mean, it is a hard campaign in general, but it's one of the big reasons that it goes early in the all and main campaign categories for solo, because you can kick the bots out of the server entirely by using a bug, and they will not return as long as you call votes to change the campaign that the server's on. So the idea is you want to down them anywhere between here and the door that closes going to the concert. And when you start the concert, it kicks every entity in the server that's in this entire back area. So if somebody's downed, if they're dead, then they're not actually there and they won't get kicked. They have to be downed and alive. So you can activate it and it'll kick them. And yes, this does kick players from the server too, and you can kick the host from his own server. Just don't do that. Anyway, so you want to down the bots within this trigger. Jump scare warning. You can see this giant trigger. That's where the threshold starts, so if you down them back here, it's no good. They won't get kicked. So the threshold is pretty much starting at the edge of this rack, anywhere from there and in front of it, and through the safe room door and in the future area is fine. So if they're in the back there, you got unfortunate spawns, and you're going to need to kite them out of the corner, which usually means you're going to have to leave the safe room to get them to come forward. Another thing you could do is if they're back there and one guy spawned up front, like where Ellis is, you could actually down him. The other two will come to try to rescue him and then just down them on their way. That works too. If you happen to get one bot spawn far enough forward, you'll get a feel for it. So you want to down them, and I want to show off. I want to turn off show triggers. It's better. So now they will be kicked when I start the finale. Bunny hop through this area. There can be a very rare tank spawn here. It's extremely rare. Chances are you're not going to get it. If you do, you're really unlucky. Just worry about that a little bit. It's rare. So now on your way here, you can observe if there's any throwables, like that spawn up there. You're going to need, ideally you want to get a pipe to kill the zombies that are following you right now. Also observe if weapons are here, next to the spot that we'll be staying in a second. So you need to hit the lights first. You want to come at an angle. Usually I come at an angle kind of towards the center here. By the time I reach the wall, I will jump and spam E, and you can see I can hit that console on my way by. So I go here, jump, spam E, there you go. So yeah, you can observe the weapons. There's another spawn here. There's also a throwable spawn there. Throwable spawn, throwable spawn, throwable spawn, throwable spawn over here as well. So check all those spawns. Get a pipe if you can. Throw it in that direction where the zombies are to kill them. If it's a Molotov, also throw that over there. You'll burn a bunch. As the lights are activating, if the weapons are on the stage, they'll be either here or there. They're guaranteed in one of those two spots. You can grab a ranged weapon as you're activating this. See, the bots just got kicked. Rochelle didn't because she was dead. The other ones weren't. So grab the ranged weapon while the lights are priming, then activate the finale. As soon as you activate it, come back this way very quickly. You don't have that much time. Jesus spot is right here. You can just jump like this, straight onto this roll-up door, and we're in the Jesus spot now. So the edge of the Jesus spot on the left side is about here, roughly. And the right side extends pretty far. So try not to go past this railing. Also stick out a lot, You can see there's like white trim on that crate down there. That's usually what I use as a mark. Once I can see all the white trim, I stop. If you strafe out far enough, a spitter, if it spits at you, will usually miss, and it'll land on the ground down below. If you're closer to the railing, it tends to land up here, and that's bad. And if weapons are here, hey, you got free reloads. No problem. Now, right here, that tank died. We're in a 15-second wait time after the first tank dies. Highly recommend, if you're confident enough, during that wait time you can get back out of the spot and grab another throwable wherever it is, assuming you used one that you had. Specials will start pathing to you once you get out. Be careful of that. So you don't have to do it if you don't want to deal with them. And also there's some spots where the zombies might stay, where you have to shoot them. They can be on top of there, kind of hard to see, and also on the top of the roof over there, right behind the peak right here. They might stumble into view and not disappear. If you can see them, they won't disappear. They can also spawn down below, come out of this hole, just look straight down and shoot at them, and then you're good to go. So once you get to this point of the helicopter coming, eventually, there it is. I wait until the helicopter gets past the halfway point. So pretty much when it gets past halfway past the stage, I'll get out and go for it. See a tank. Make sure this helicopter is settled completely before you try to get into it. If you don't wait for the helicopter to settle, you'll go right through it. Be very careful. You cannot go early in that helicopter. These tanks are going to be annoying. And that's the finale. Also, quick note, there's another Jesus spot over here. Get on the railing, then jump up on the boards here. This is a Jesus spot. You can tuck in here. I don't know how worth it is. You can experiment with it if you'd like, but the other spot is pretty good. Wow, okay, tank. Nice seeing you too. So, yeah, watch out for the common spawns that you'll need to kill. Oh, another quick note, just while you're here, there can be the spitter or a smoker. They like to pop out from behind the scaffolding, either there or there.
Guns here.
They'll usually come from here and then aim at you like that. So if you hear them, try to listen which side they're on and react to them with your ranged weapon. I do not recommend having a shotgun here. Ranged weapon is pretty important, especially to fight those off. Yeah, just as soon as they pop out, hit them. Okay, I think that covers Dark Carnival Solo. Moving on to Dark Carnival Co-op, back to level 1. Hello, welcome to Dark Carnival Co-op Pathing. This is level 1, and we are going to start with a nice little warp here into this corner. So there's a clip above the fences here that you can stand on. You can see I'm standing on it right now. If you tuck into this corner with your back turned to it like this and warp a teammate to you, they'll get stuck in the corner and warp up on top of it. So we will demonstrate that with Bill. Come back, get Coach over here.
I mean, oh, yeah, I guess I can
Warp
just like
Coach here.
move over there.
Okay, so I'm gonna go there, pretend that Coach is a third player. We're gonna warp Coach into the corner, and then Bill will take control of Coach like it was a third player, and you'll see him pop up there. So go ahead.
And, oh, okay.
And there we go. So now he's up on top of the clip. Now from up here, you have multiple options of how to drop. The fastest option is to run forward a bit, jump, and land there. Like that. You can land on this little ledge, or if you do it perfectly, you could potentially land on this railing and just keep going. That's kind of hard, though. Now be careful that you don't try to strafe too early. If you do, that roof is sticking out a bit more. You'll hit it, lose your momentum, and just die. Like if you try to do this too early, see how I hit it, lost my complete momentum. So you have to purposely wait until you clear that roof and strafe late, or you're gonna have a bad time. Another way you can drop is there's a ledge right below us that you can kind of drop on. It's very close to the fence, like halfway up the fence, so as soon as you drop, you want to hug the fence again immediately to land on it. You can see it actually sticks up a bit. It's what the common infected climb, I believe. So it ends right there. So you want to be more towards the corner of the fence, landing right up against the fence. It's not completely forgiving. And one more place you could drop to is basically the same as the first way, but you would land there instead. I just missed it. This one's not really recommended. It's basically the same idea, but in a different spot, like that. So, whichever way you'd like, really. Now, if you, for some reason, don't want to do that warp, which, like, if you have 2 players, if you're running with 2 players, you won't be able to do that. You'll have to do a boost. Otherwise, do the warp. If you have more than 2 players, do the warp.
Weapons over
But
here.
if not, then this is also an option. We'll have Bill launch me first with a bile.
Bomb here.
So you can launch...
Fun.
Yeah, this is going to be hard for him because he has a ping and it's a high angle.
Yeah.
Hey, first try. So you can see I completely cleared the clip, and then I strafed to the right and caught the railing. If you don't do that, you will uncap. You have to catch this railing, so be careful.
Yeah, and that means that you need to strafe late, or
Yeah.
else same thing. You
with
hit
with the roof.
the top. Yeah.
So my setup,
Fight
you
amongst yourselves.
can find many different marks for this, but at least my setup is even with this tree up against the wall. And aim up, there's an upper and lower leaf right there. When I look to the side, I'm aiming between them, which is, looks like about 56 degrees. Aw, that's not fair, that should have
No
worked.
boost.
Yeah, that happens
Incoming!
sometimes. Whoops, I was aiming. Sorry, I wasn't ready yet.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh,
Ooh, he
I
landed
had
on
to
the
put-
clip. I aimed a
I guess you can
tiny-
revert to the other strat.
yeah,
Yeah,
I aimed a
I'm used to
tiny bit low on that, I
Puke in
guess.
the hole.
So 58? 58 should be about good. I should definitely make it. That might be because I'm boosting him late.
Puke in
If
the
you boost
hole.
them in the later end of their jump, they'll be coming down already, and they won't get quite as far a boost. And it is hard to time this, so that's probably what's going wrong.
Incoming.
Well,
Landing on the cliff every time.
yeah, I'll
Fight
aim a little
amongst
bit higher, I
yourselves.
guess, to compensate.
Oh,
And then the bad boost
the
happened
bad,
where he went straight up.
bio boost.
Puke
But
in
as
the
you
hole.
see, you can
Yeah, there's
can
clip
back up
there,
from
too.
all of this. You
Yeah.
can,
But
I
yeah,
know.
you get the idea anyway. So another thing you can do if you have, well, let me actually look at my keyboard so I can type.
Boomer puke. Right
You
here.
can do pistol timing, shown for the first time here, besides in part 2.
Grenade.
Against this fence, if you look, you want to look up until the bottom of your screen. See the motel sign at the bottom right now? Until it's just off screen, right about there. Bill went a bit late on that jump.
Pipe bomb.
Oh, that's close.
I have dual pistols, so the pistol time
Pipe
is
bomb
different.
out.
I
Having a
mean,
guitar.
me have a single pistol.
Yeah, single pistols are a bit better for pistol timing. Feels smoother. There we go. And then you can do the various drops from there.
So one thing that I personally don't like pistol time too much, and on high
There's a pipe
angles,
bomb here.
you
Pipe
can
bomb out.
like look to the side a little bit if you want,
Grenade.
so you can kind of see a little like the person approaching on the corner of your screen.
Is that a bottle of puke?
Like,
Throwing a pipe bomb.
I
But
never
that's only if
actually
you-
tried that before. I guess that's a bit of an
that's
alternate
only
way, yeah.
yeah. If you can like find your timing for pistol timing.
Pipe bomb.
Like I'll try a walk.
Yeah, that's awkward without practicing it, but
Yeah.
I guess there's a lot of different
Something.
there's a lot of different methods. You can explore your own. We're just
Mhm.
giving you the spots to do stuff in. So once somebody gets over this fence in any way, you can have people in the back here die. From this bridge, you can jump from the top here, like this. That'll be a death. If for some reason that seems kinda scary to you, like you'll miss it, you could also potentially do this truck here. Actually, I haven't done this in a long time, so I'm not entirely sure how to get on the truck easily. I can probably climb up the side of it, like the other trucks.
Yeah, you can climb the side or climb the concrete barrier.
Haha, there we go. Concrete barrier? Oh, like over here?
No, like on this side.
Oh. Yeah, I usually do the bridge. Oh, I see, yeah. Okay, yeah, so you can do that, get on the truck, and jump from here as well. So, nice job, Coach. Good hang.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah, this is something that kind of happened. Hang and then unhang.
yeah. So once those people are dead, you could have somebody have, he could look for throwables or temp health if he happens to find it along the way. You don't want him to take really any time doing that after the person has cleared the fence, but if he has something, like if it spawns in that location, he can come from the pool. It's diagonally in this direction. Over here. There's the staircase here. You can use this for a stuck spot to warp to the person going towards the safe room. Ideally, try to time it so that they're in, like, they just get into the safe room when you warp. That'd be the best way to go about it. Generally, we would call that timing out when you're going up the hill here. When you're passing this bush right here, you would tell that person back there to get stuck at the staircase. And as long as you get good bunny hops at the end here, they should appear right when you get into the safe room. And then you're good to go. On to level 2.
I need every one of you inside now.
And level 2 of Dark Carnival. First, we're going to cover boosting up into this window here. You can see we're on the ramp after the warehouse area. So usually you'll have people checking in the back for grenade launchers, which will cover the spawns at the end of this section. And you'd warp them somewhere around here. And then generally we get into this spot. You can basically use anything here: bile, pipe, Molotov, grenade launcher. It usually ends up being a pipe bomb or Molotov, so I'll show that first. So stand at the edge of this white trim somewhere. It's perfectly forgiving, you don't need to be precise. And then aim at the bottom of that light there. Ah, early jump.
And then you miss and you reset.
There you
Oh.
go. Oh,
Got it.
interesting
like the
strafing there.
lag. The lag made me believe you missed, so I didn't try.
Brazil, right? Okay, there you
I
go.
ping, am I right?
And you're up in the window. So bile would be the same. You could also do a grenade launcher, basically the same way. Just aim a little bit more to the right to make sure that they fling over in that direction. And they'll get right in. Now, once they're up there, they're not pathable, so you can go idle here right away. And once they get far enough, which, here's what it looks like up here. Once they get far enough along, around here somewhere, you can warp into them. They'll be far enough away from you. So, generally you can have, like, the person here go idle and then everybody else go idle. And you should be good, as long as somebody stays up there so that they're not pathable. The people in the back here will warp. So, you'll want to get the grenade launcher guy, ideally, in, assuming you've gotten one already. And then you've got a second warp right here. So by far the ideal way to do this is with a grenade launcher. When you're approaching, there's two white things on the ground, like white rectangles, I guess. Go to the second one right there. Stand away from the fence a little bit, just so it's easier for the approach. Aim up halfway between the blue trim of the wall and the bottom of the wall, where it goes into the ceiling. So about there. And that'll bank your teammate off of a clip and they'll land on another one, which Bill can boost me now to show that.
Do you crawl during that?
You don't really need
At all?
to. I do, but you don't necessarily need to. So, there we go. Like, it depends on how angled you are. If you get boosted at enough of an angle, you don't have to, but it would be recommended to curl in the air, like I'm about to do, just to be safe. Like I'm about to do, just to be safe.
I like how I was getting that.
So see, I curled there and landed on the clip here. This clip is gigantic, by the way. It's on the tent. It's all the way over here. Above here. It's all along here. It ends right about there. Yeah. It's a very, like, very, very big clip. You can land anywhere along here.
If you like walk down here, you can see how far it extends.
Yeah. So as long as a person stays up here, everybody in the back can idle from anywhere that they want. By the way, you can avoid falling damage. I'll cover that real quick. If you don't want to take any falling damage dropping straight off of here, you can either land on the front of the tent like that, or you could possibly walk along the clip this way to the edge and drop onto this fence. Those are two safe ways to drop. So as long as you're up here, everybody in the back can warp. The recommended method, though, because it's faster, obviously, for the individual campaign, maybe not so much main or all campaigns, but at least for the individual, you should drop right away, make your way to the safe room, and the people in the back, instead of being able to warp anywhere, they go onto this fence. Everybody should be on this fence. If they idle here, and then the guy goes into the safe room, most of the time that should work. It has failed before, so sorry if that fails for you, but it has the potential of working, and we've gotten it to work before. So it's by far faster to have him going into the safe room ahead of time.
Most of the time, really.
Yeah, it should work. Just beware that it's possible somebody will warp to the safe room. We're not really sure why yet, but it could happen. So, there's that boost. Here, over to there. And there's backup boosts here. If you don't have the grenade launcher for some reason and you want to keep going anyway, you can do a bile boost from here to get on that same clip. That angle, aim up and to the right a bit. Kind of aim even with the top of the red flags like that.
And you should land on this part of the clip.
So you fly this way in an arc and land around the tree above the shrubbery here. Just careful to avoid the tree limb. It is solid, so go around wide a bit. And now you're back at this part. You could drop on the fence. And then one last thing, if you happen to not have a bile, you could also do a pipe or Molotov boost straight up onto the clip from here. It's a really high angle though. I'm aiming at the bottom of that gap in that tree. It's 56-ish. He might not actually make it. It's going to be close probably.
Yeah. I crouched.
Yeah, 56 is pretty much the minimum height. 57 to be safer. There you go.
And like, if you want to do the bio one, then you need to make sure that you are carrying a bio from level 1, because you're not gonna find it on this level.
Yeah, no bile spawn on level 2 at all. It's just level 1.
So it's one of the reasons why we tend to warp the player that was on by the pool using the stuck spot, so you can carry items to this level.
Yeah.
Usually a bile.
It's pretty important to have stuff going forward, especially for level 4, where you'll need a Molotov, so I guess we'll cover that when we get there, but that covers the boosts here. Now, for the fun part, rolling for a grenade launcher spawn. Yeah, so there are 12 spots.
I think 12?
bear with me
13,
here.
11.
I believe it's 12. So bear with me here. Some of them are awful for individual campaigns, or they're just way too late.
Hello!
So yeah. Starting from the safe room, going over this way. There's a left picnic table coming up right here. Be on top of it. Continuing on into the kitchen here, going to the right side at the corner of this table, or whatever cart, I guess it's a table. Could be one up there. Okay, we're back outside, so we're going straight through the fairground area on this back ledge, on top of the white ledge where Bill is. Could be right there. And any of these spots can have a chainsaw as well, by the way. And also, this grenade launcher is guaranteed to spawn. It will be in one of these spots.
One grenade launcher and one chainsaw will always spawn. So if you find a chainsaw, it doesn't mean that you didn't get the launcher.
Yeah,
just
the launcher will be there all the time. So we're entering here. Turn to the right. It's on this box. Keep going. Turn to the left.
Weapons
in
over
this
here.
room, it's on the shelf. The second shelf right there, in front of those boxes. So we're continuing along a ways. At this point, you'll be doing the boost. So if you don't have it yet, once you boost somebody, usually you can warp 2 people here, boost a guy, and then after you boost the guy, the other person that got warped will follow you into the fairground area. You can split somebody off to the left and somebody off to the right. So starting from the right, there's a spot here where the chainsaw is. I bet you the grenade launcher is going to be in here. Left bathroom, men's room. Look to the right, in the corner on the floor. Look, I was right. It's on the floor. Now, starting from the guy that could split off to the left, you can cut through this way. The next spot is on this picnic table. Right there. There's another one inside of this kitchen. Go to the left.
Guitar here.
Lower shelf. Right there in the corner. Coming back out, now we're getting to one of the horrible spawns. All the way down this alley. To the right, into this room. Next to the shelving unit on the floor there. Going back to a good spawn. So right here, coming down the hill, guy gets boosted. So after this boost, you travel along this way. You're back in the fairground area here, or past the slide. Go up the staircase. We're coming up to where we would do the boost with the grenade launcher. Right here. So take a left into the room. There it is. On the lower tier of this table. So that's a pretty nice spawn. And then there's one left. If you were counting, tell me how much it is. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's 12 though. Jump off of here. There's a room to the right in the back here. And it's right here in front of the white box on that shelf. That's all the grenade launcher spawns. Good luck rolling them.
And if you get the one, this last one, it's good to know that if you did a boost and there are people like on top of the cliff up there, you need to walk like quite a bit far.
Yeah,
so you can,
yeah, that's true.
usually
You want to make sure you're very far away from them so it works. Yeah,
somewhere.
you want to come over here somewhere to warp successfully. Also, if you get the grenade launcher there, you could potentially do a boost with the grenade launcher from here, basically anywhere, just aiming to get up on the cliff. Any even moderately high angle will easily get you on there. Like, I'm just gonna wing it. I'm just gonna wing it completely here, and it's fine. That was even way higher than necessary.
Yeah, I would probably take some damage. So it will be fine.
Yeah. I believe that covers level 2. Actually one more thing. So there's a backup in case somebody does teleport to the safe room, the beginning safe room, like if a warp fails. You can do a nav reset here, which we were talking about in part 2. It does not work from the table. This is one odd exception of a safe room where it doesn't work from the table. The only place you can nav reset is on this sign. You want to ride up the wooden leg here, kind of jump to slide up it, and then get onto the sign. Take some practice. It's a little weird like that. And then you can idle flash up here. My nav will be set into the beginning safe room now. So as long as everybody that's alive does this, The guy can stay in the starting safe room and idle, and he'll warp in.
Can jump further up, I think, too. Like here.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That should work too.
So you can fit everyone.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's probably a good idea. The very top of the door. Because everybody needs to do that, not just one guy. So, okay. That's a little backup there. And that covers level 2. On to level 3.
Some puke.
And we are on level 3, Coaster. So, first of all, if the person going ahead, which would usually be the host since he loads more quickly, if he had the grenade launcher, it's recommended that you swap it, or a shotgun or something coming out of the safe room, because there's some pretty bad horde around this area. When you jump over the fence around this area, it's very hard to handle them with the grenade launcher. So, definitely recommended to have a different weapon that handles that better, and then make your way around, drop through the hole, go this way. Now, you want to prep somebody to do a warp. Somebody else will pick up the grenade launcher, then they should be prepped in the back somewhere for a warp. And then if they warp in time, you can either have them swap the grenade launcher back here, if you need to, that is, depending on who's doing the boost up ahead. But this is usually what we do, because I do the boost, and I always host. So they could potentially swap it here to whoever needs it, or you can swap it on the truck here. Depends entirely on who's boosting and who's running forward, and so on. And then, the fun part. Coaster skip with a grenade launcher. So, give grenade launcher.
Time to make some zombie soup.
I'll show it as the booster first, so we can get this out of the way.
Launcher.
Come on, get out of the way.
Yeah, grenade launcher.
Good enough. So where I stand, this twig that's sticking out of the ground, I look down and go past it until my crosshair is just past it near the base, like that. Turn around. Then there's kind of like an upside down V shape that I'm tracing with my crosshair right now in that tree. I tuck the top part of my crosshair into the point of the V, like that, and you can see that the right side of my crosshair is kind of touching the bottom of the tree branches as well. So it's kind of neatly tucked in there.
Oh.
Ooh.
Because my approach was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His approach was a little off. We'll cover that in a second, because it's precise. There we go. And then they fly around the clips. So,
and they made it far again.
Real quick, R draw clip brushes too. I'll show the clips for the first time here, because this is pretty important to see. This is where you're flying into. These purple clips, you can see there's a very small gap that runs along the length here. Pretty much barely fits a player. You're aiming to enter that gap and fly through this curve. And then you'll be landing on this track somewhere. There are optimizations that are pretty hard that you can do. But let's try the boost on me first, and we'll cover that as we get there. So, first, where you want to stand, I guess I'll show it from approaching from this angle. So from here, you can see there's like the patch of twigs on the ground right there. You want to stand over those twigs. Then there's a support leg of the coaster. I aim pretty much right at that leg, and then approach straight. And there we go. Oh, I didn't quite make it to the railing. So we landed here pretty safely. Now, if you get the proper boost, and sometimes you can fly over the railing, by the way, so be careful. It depends on how well you curl through the clips. If you bank off of them a lot, you'll lose speed. If you curl to the left perfectly, you'll keep a lot of your speed and fly way over this railing. So if you throttle yourself properly, you could potentially land on this railing, do a crouch hop straight across, and do another crouch hop on this track straight across here, and land here. Yeah, pretty difficult. We'll try it a couple more times, but that part, like, you're gonna want to be really confident to try to do that. I flew way over because I curled too well. Like, getting it to land right on the railing is very difficult. I held back too much. Alright, one more try. I don't want to make the video too long now.
Oh, early
One more
shot.
successful try. Oh, I hit the clip on the right. I wouldn't call that successful. So yeah, if you're off a little bit, you can see I hit the clip and didn't fly between them, and that was very bad. This can happen. Ah, I landed on the railing, missed the crouch hop. You could see I would fly across onto this track. So
Yeah.
then the teammates in the back, once you're at this point, they can idle and they won't be able to path, so they will warp. If you land here and have the guy jump to the hedge, usually about when the person jumps to here, when he's in this area, you would have everybody idle to time it properly. And then he could, generally you want him to jump onto the bush as quickly as possible, so once he's here, he can do this jump, which I would have shown in my solo run. So land on this bush, and then your teammates should be warping to you around this point somewhere. You're still out of bounds at this point. You can see Bill warped in. Now, if you get too close to the safe room, again, the bots in the back, they won't be able to path. That point is right about here, so a little bit past the bush. So if the guy ahead, if they haven't warped yet, you don't want him to keep running forward. Have him stop just a bit past the bush at the furthest. And you should be good. Okay, I think that covers Coaster. That was
Got a
easy.
grenade launcher.
Not many tricks going on.
Yeah.
Just this big one.
It's a cool one, though, yeah.
Huge
And
one.
on to the most fun level of Dark Carnival. Barnes, level 4. And map 4. This one only has a couple of tricks. One is huge, though. You can skip the crescendo area by getting somebody through the clip on top of this fence. So, quick note here, not all of the survivors' hitboxes are exactly the same, and most of them will not go through the clip. You want Rochelle, specifically, to be the one that hangs on this fence and gets picked up through the clip, which we'll demonstrate soon. Ellis can work sometimes, but he seems pretty inconsistent, and the other survivors we never saw work, so...
Yeah, Nick and Coach never.
Yeah, so Rochelle, make sure the guy that's going to get boosted here is Rochelle. So you have a couple options to get on the fence. You can do a grenade launcher boost since you're going to have a grenade launcher, or you can do a throwable boost against the fence. We're going to try grenade launcher here. If there's a cut in the video, don't worry about it. This boost is easy, I promise. Nothing to see here. Nothing going on. Misses? What misses? Nah. Three. There's nothing. Why would...
Jump too early.
Yeah, there's no way. Whoa, lag. Alright, first try every time. So now he's on the fence. So I stood next to the... There's kind of like a yellow strip in the ground here that looks a bit like a dog. You can see this is its body, that's its head, and this is the feet. That's what I see every time I look at it. So I line up about with that. You can see if you're coming from this direction, it's kind of right there between a couple of darker stains. You'll get a feel for it. And then I aim at about the top of the house. You can see that's 34 degrees. I mean, you can go up or down a little bit. Doesn't need to be that precise. You just don't want to go up too far so that the person doing the boost doesn't take a lot of falling damage.
Yeah, because you get boosted, you hit the clip right here, and you go up a little bit.
Yeah, so if you aim too high, you could kill them or deal way too much damage.
Yeah.
So I can get boosted real quick just so you see what that looks like when you hit the clip.
So
If there's a cut here, don't worry about it. Easy. So there you go. I have God mode on, but I would have taken probably 5 or 10 damage. Now, the fun part. So this setup, I'm going to show you my very specific setup. This setup is extremely open to interpretation. You can aim in any direction like this, swirled around the fence. Generally, you want to aim straight up. I think you can aim slightly lower than straight up, but there is a limit to that. I would recommend you look straight up no matter what direction you look in. You could be a bit closer to the fence, you could be a bit further away from the fence. It depends on what your teammate on the fence does. Our specific setup is I'm halfway between the leg and this other stripe in the ground like this, right here, and then I look straight up, and you can see I'm looking to the left of the fence. And then Bill is going to hold his walk key and walk straight off of the fence. We did that so that his approach is consistent. We used to do it where I was against the fence, and the person up there would fall off and immediately hold the opposite direction to hold against the fence, but that, I think that has some variables to it, so we switched to this. So yeah, you can experiment. As long as you're getting it consistently, it doesn't matter what you're doing. You just need to get it. So, on this version of the game, some game versions, we're on 2091 currently. 2045 feels like it works the same. 2027 does not. It seems to be a little bit different timing in when you need to boost them, and 2027 is awful, just to note that. So, as the host, I am firing at the moment I see him start to fall off of the fence. Here we go. And it missed. It's not 100%. It's pretty tight timing. There we go. And then you pick him up right away. As soon as he finishes getting picked up, he'll go right through the clip. There you go. Now, make sure you pick him up right away, because if he hangs there for a few seconds, it'll unlatch him from the fence, since the ground underneath him is too close. The game does that sometimes if you're hanging above close ground. So, yeah, there's no reason not to pick him up right away anyway.
Yeah.
And generally once he's at the other side of the fence, you want to have at least one Molotov on the people on this side so they can kill themselves. 2 Molotovs, even better. Really, the more the merrier, so that they die quickly by the time he gets to the safe room.
And if you want to be safe about it, you can wait until the person safely gets to the safe room, because usually a lot of stuff spawns here. Like,
yeah.
Specials spawn inside the safe room.
We've very often had our teammate approach this door, and he's right here, looks in, sees a charger and a jockey straight ahead looking at him, and he just closes the door in their face. Or dies, you know, either way.
Or dies, yeah.
So be extremely careful going into the safe room. You could also potentially have somebody with a sniper out here in case something goes wrong. They could try to snipe him, maybe. There's a lot of things that you can do. That'll just be that'll come with practice, really.
And luck.
Yeah, practice and definitely luck on the special spawns, that's for sure. And if you don't want to do all of this crazy stuff, which you really should, because it saves like a minute and a half easily compared to going all the way around. But if you don't do that for any reason, you can go this way, and there's just a bit of a boost here that you can do as a backup. Oh, I need to show a boost back there too. So you can just come on. You can just throw a boost over this fence to skip the barns area, so that you don't have to jump on the light, or you jump too early.
Yeah, I kind of felt that.
There we go. Yeah, there's no clip there.
I jumped already a lot.
Easy peasy. And then back up here, if you have an extra pipe bomb, forgot to mention, if you have an extra pipe bomb, you can use it to boost the guy here. It's generally better than having the grenade launcher do it, because then he doesn't have to reload and he can be set up already to get the guy to hang.
Grenade!
Yeah.
Wouldn't recommend using... Oh, come on. I think that was early again.
Chase this, you zombie bastards!
Would not recommend using a Molotov to do this boost, because you're going to lose the Molotov, and the Molotov is very valuable to down the people on this side of the fence while the other guy goes forward.
Pipe bomb!
Well, you get the idea. We don't need to actually show the boost happening. You'll be up there. And that covers level 4, I believe. On to the finale, which will probably not have too many notes. See you there. And our Carnival finale. This is just a few little things to note. Nothing really special going on here that you didn't see in solo overall. So at the start, just whoever ends up being ahead when you enter this area, he should go up to the lights. The other guy, or guys, depending on who's here, could check some throwables, because pipe bombs are really good. They can be around the... I think there can be a spawn on the chest here somewhere, and the corner up there, corner up there. Right here, you can see there's a bunch. They can be over here as well. In co-op, it's pretty nice, because you can have somebody check some extra spots to make sure you get a pipe. So, yeah, divide and conquer with that. Then the Jesus spot that was shown in solo, you can fit 4 people here, but it's extremely tight and you have to stagger them perfectly. Like how the left edge of the Jesus spot ends right around here. You'd have to have somebody really far out around here, and you have to stagger a guy close here, and another one would have to be here, and another one would have to be over here. It's not recommended. The better way, generally we find, is to have somebody go up on the tower to suicide, because 3 people fit next to each other here pretty comfortably. And the guy that suicides can check spawns, so he can take a look at the concert roof where there can be some bad spawns that don't disappear. Let his teammates know if they're up there. He can check here, especially on this roof. They can spawn there and not disappear there as well. And when the tank's going to spawn, he can stare here. It's possible that the tank will come in this area and path over to here. Now this tank will be Jesus spotted and die, but if he's able to call out immediately when the tank spawns and the people standing here have shotguns, they can come out right away and kill the tank faster than he'll kill himself. So watch out for that. If you're fast enough, it could be worth it. Yeah, so finale's easy. I can't think of anything else that I need to add. Alright, on to Swamp Fever.